Hey guys, Buffalo here. Another question I get asked a lot, and it's not any like a single question. It's questions about shooting steel. I'm no expert at shooting steel. I've been shooting steel for a couple of years, and that's it. You know, I've been shooting guns as far back as I can remember, but I only recently got into shooting steel, and but I've learned a lot since I started, and I'd recommend to anybody that is just learning about steel and have no idea how to get started to do as much research as you can. If you know somebody that does shoot steel and has experience, get them to help you out and show you how to set your targets up and things like that. And better yet, go to a club where they actually shoot steel targets and get a feel for how they've got things set up, and then cautiously proceed from there. Steel is relatively safe to shoot. There are a lot of advantages to shooting steel. Far less cleanup on your range. You know, you don't have paper punched out everywhere, and you know, other types of targets. Setup is simple. These stay set up like they are. These are my primary targets that I use. Two 12-inch plates, and then the IDPA style plate there. These two, or this one and this one, are 1/4-inch AR 500, and they're rated up to 45 ACP. You want to use steel that's rated for the cartridges that you'll be shooting on it. You can use, I use AR 500. You don't necessarily have to do that. You can use softer steel and get away with it, but in general, the harder and smoother the surface, the better off you're going to be and safer you're going to be. I've got these, I've used carrier bolts to bolt them on, and you can see the heads on the bolts are rounded. You don't want to use squared off bolts, and I don't like targets that are on a squared off stand, like knockover targets. Anytime you've got a squared off surface, you increase the risk of a spalling or a ricochet coming back your direction. I also like to hang my targets where they're free swinging. All these targets can move. That takes some of the energy. The idea is that it takes some of the energy out of the round. When it hits the plate and uses energy to move the plate, it soaks up some of that, so far less energy. In that 1 in a million chance where you did get a ricochet, a lot of the energy would done be used up. I also hang my targets at a slight angle, and my targets are lower than my bore axis when I shoot, so that also adds to the angle. The bullet comes in at an angle, and the target is at an angle, so that if I did get a 1 in a million ricochet or a large fragment, and you do get fragments back from time to time, that's why it's really important to use your glasses. But if I did get that, the angle of the target would help put that bullet in the ground before it got back to me, or at least that's the idea. Again, I'm no expert at this, but that's how I've got mine set up. Now, a lot of people ask what happens to a bullet when it hits the plate. And let me go back. You also want to use cartridges that are rated for your steel, also in speed. Really slow bullets might not splatter. They have to be going fast enough to splatter. If they're going so slow that they don't splatter, then the entire bullet can come back much easier than it would had it splattered out. But anyway, get back to where I was at. I often get asked what happens to a bullet when it strikes the steel plate. Well, I don't have high-speed cameras and all that stuff to show you exactly what's going on, but I do have a cardboard box. That's the next best thing. We can hang this box over the steel plate here, and we can shoot that plate some, and it'll give you guys an idea of what's going on with the fragmentation. I don't like to get any closer than 10 yards. Let me back up here. I've got 10 yards marked. I don't like to get any closer than 10 yards when I shoot steel. There are exceptions to that too. If you're using special ammunition that's designed for it, you can shoot closer and things like that. But in general, I don't get any closer than 10 yards. Also, I mentioned hanging my targets at an angle. That also increases the life of the target. If I were hitting the target at 90 degrees, it's harder on the target than if the target is angled. Got the Glock 34 out. Got 30 rounds in the magazine. Let's put a few into that box onto the steel plate. All right, and see what's going on here. All right, that should be plenty. You can see that it is chewing that box up all the way around. The top, the sides are ripped out. You about just take the box apart now. So it's not just, a lot of people think that when it hits the plate, it directs it all into the ground. That doesn't happen. It splatters off the target at about 20 degrees in all directions. And that's why you get the cutout you've got here. You can see fragments going out. Some of these bullets fragment, they're going out even the front of the box, but they're not coming directly out back to the shooter. I hope I've got that in the frame. I'm wearing this GoPro on my head. I can't tell what's in the frame and what's not. But those are all coming out at an angle. They're not coming straight back. They're coming out at an angle. See the inside of the box, it shows much better. But steel is relatively safe to shoot as long as you don't get, I don't want to say get stupid, because, you know, some people just, if you don't know, you don't know. And some people just don't know. So get out here and do some research. You can't just take a piece of steel and throw it out on the ground and start banging away at it. You don't want to be shooting straight into your edges and things. But do a little research. You'll be safe, I'm sure. Just shoot it at the distance recommended, or no closer than the distance recommended by the manufacturer. And I don't have any specific manufacturer that I go to, so I can't put you on anybody in particular. I just find I get mine through people have given me targets and through sales. A good time to buy targets, like on Black Friday and stuff like that, you can find them with free shipping. Your shipping is expensive on your steel because it's so heavy, but you can find deals a lot of times like that, or even like Father's Day sales and stuff like that. You know, that's really all I've got, guys. I appreciate you watching, and I'll talk with y'all again soon.